But ultimately, particularly for minorities in America, racial minorities, LGBT people, I want them to become aware that the Democrat Party doesn't actually support them. They're actually using them, and they're actually manipulating their fears and concerns to get them to vote the way they want them to vote and behave the way they want them to behave.
Once upon a time, I was a liberal. But liberalism has changed, and I will no longer be a part of an ideology or political party that represents everything that contradicts my values of unity, equal opportunity, personal empowerment, compassion, and love. So I am walking away. And I encourage all of you to do the same. Walk away.
That is Brandon Straka, who has created quite a stir in recent days over his high-profile decision to leave the left behind because of their overzealous rhetoric and violent protest. Earlier, I sat down with Brandon to talk about his decision and some of the reaction to it. Take a look. Brandon Straka, thanks so much for joining us tonight. You are a very interesting man. And let me just say that you have been a lifelong liberal.
Yes.
And then you drifted.
I did.
What changed?
Well, I just became more aware as time went on that, you know, the identity politics and the politically correct culture was getting very out of control. But in terms of me actually switching parties, it was after the election of Donald Trump, because I voted for Hillary, and I was on Facebook crying, wondering what had gone wrong, what happened to the good people of Middle America. And but a friend of mine reached out to me and showed me a YouTube clip, which was basically compilation footage showing all these different ways in which the media had taken moments out of context in Donald Trump's campaign and spun it and created a narrative that he was a racist, a bigot, a homophobe. And in fact, I even saw another video showing black people who had gone to a Trump rally to support him. And when CNN showed up, they intentionally cut them out of the shot, so it appeared that there were only white people there. So it began to paint a picture for me that the media had been incredibly dishonest about their narrative of who Trump was and who his supporters were.
So when Trump talks about fake news, you find that to be accurate?
Well, I didn't used to, but now it's yes, I know it's accurate.
All right. So you were a Democrat. Now you have a new movement called #WalkAway.
Yes.
That you're wearing. Good marketing. And what are you walking away from?
Well, I'm walking away from the Democrat Party, and I'm also walking away from the divisive, hateful, and now I think we're on the brink of almost violent rhetoric that's coming from the left.
Okay.
The complete lack of civility. I mean, the complete lack of being able to sit down and even have a civil discourse about our different political beliefs. You know, I mean, at this point, it's like, if you don't agree with what the left says, it's because you're a Nazi and you're a bigot. And they have allowed themselves to become so entitled at this point in their feelings that it's like, if you disagree with them, they're almost at the point now where they can not serve you in a restaurant, or they can commit a violent act against you.
We're not almost at the point. We're at the point
You're
where
correct.
People who are working in the government, who have, you know, are spending 18 hours a day, most of the ones that I know working, are being thrown out of places and not served.
Yes.
And I understand that yesterday something unusual happened to you.
It did. I was in a camera store in New York City. I was just trying to buy some technical equipment. And when I went to make my purchase, the salesperson said to me, are you planning to use this equipment for alt-right purposes? And I sort of laughed and I said, alt-right? And he said, well, aren't you with the WalkAway campaign? And I said, yes, I am. And he said, I'm sorry, I can't sell to you. I don't support that, and I can't sell to you.
What did you do?
Started shaking.
Really?
I did. I mean, that was the first. I understand that this kind of thing is going to happen to me more going forward, but this was the first time it happened, and it took my breath away. Yeah, I was, and to be honest with you, I was scared. I mean, these people have my information in their computer. Now I don't know what's going to happen next.
But you see, now you're experiencing what Republicans, conservatives have been experiencing across the country.
Correct.
Whether you're walking down a street in Manhattan, if you're, the more visible you become, the more people are going to attack you.
Yes.
I had someone on my show last week, and I said, give me one example where people on the right have done this to people on the left. Give me just one example, because they say, oh, it's both sides. Are you seeing now that that's not the case?
Yes, I am seeing that that's not the case. And the other thing that I'm seeing is just how forgiving people on the right are when these things happen. I mean, it's two completely different worlds, because people on the left can be so vicious and they can attack so much, but people on the right, even if they disagree with you, they can do it very civilly.
All right, but you're a very interesting individual. I mean, you're gay, you're a hairstylist, you're an aspiring actor,
right.
You live in Manhattan, you've been a Democrat, and now you are in a position to see some of the lies that have been perpetuated by the left, and you were leaving. But what is your mission ultimately?
Well, I want people to, first of all, I'm not even telling people where to go or what to do. What I'm asking is that they start doing their own research. Stop believing everything that they hear just because CNN says it, or MSNBC, or the New York Times. Do your own research, do your own facts, and you'll be surprised what you find out. But ultimately, particularly for minorities in America, racial minorities, LGBT people, I want them to become aware that the Democrat Party doesn't actually support them. They're actually using them, and they're actually manipulating their fears and concerns to get them to vote the way they want them to vote and behave the way they want them to behave.
All right.
I want to empower these people.
You've made a decision not to even identify the people who didn't want to serve you yesterday.
Right.
And to that, we give you credit. Brandon Straka, thanks so much for being with Justice tonight.
Thank you.